Good Friday evening, everyone. December 19th, 2025. Almost Christmas time. Almost Christmas time. We're in the middle of Hanukkah, coming up on Christmas. And this is a spiritual time when miracles happen. Prayers are answered. Positive energy is in the air. And I have to start by saying we are all celebrating and thankful that so many prayers were answered, that yesterday the Honorable Mayor Marty Small Sr. was acquitted of all the charges that were pending against him regarding his family. And we are so glad that we have to give a round of applause and congratulate Mayor Marty Small Sr., his wonderful wife, Superintendent Laquetta Small, and his extraordinary champion son. He calls him Boat. Let's give a round of applause. Thankful to God that prayers were answered. And congratulations, Mayor Marty Small Sr. That was an amazing situation for the past 2 years, and now it's over. And I know our mayor is going to get busy on running Atlantic City as he has done so well, pave streets, youth programs, scholarship programs, make Atlantic City great programs. So congratulations, Mayor, and we'll continue to pray for Superintendent Small as well as Mandy, and hopefully everything would just be squashed. So this is Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour on Friday at 5 o'clock, and have some things to go over with you guys that I want to share. I want to share some information regarding our wonderfully successful December 15th Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone breakfast at resorts. And it was a little stick and go, or how do they say, stop and go for a minute, because on December 14th, it was snowing. It was freezing like a blizzard. The wind was blowing. And I was praying to God. I said, God, look, I'm not going to cancel this event. I know a number of events were canceled at resorts all over town, actually. And I prayed on it. And I said, with conviction, we're going to have this breakfast because it's too important. And we had it, and it was wonderful. I'm going to read some information about it, but we had it at resorts. The Honorable Atlantic County Commissioner Michael Ruffew, who is the nephew of the extraordinary Carol Ruffew, he presented a proclamation, which I'm going to share with you guys. The Honorable Mayor Patrick Armstrong from the great city of Longport, he attended also, and he said he was very excited about this initiative, and he's looking forward to working with us and grinding with us and making this happen. And basically, to give you a little, if you haven't heard about it, give you a little background. What we did, we created an organization which we refer to as the Atlantic City Tourism District Opportunity Zone, right? I'm trying to take one of these little things off here. Y'all know I'm still working on it, trying to figure it out. Let's see, hide this one. Let's see if that's going to hide it. Well, it just keep flowing. Anyway, I had this idea that I discussed with my partner, the president of U.S. HARD, Horace Jones, that we create a collaboration that goes hand in hand with what the president's administration and the Secretary HUD want to see more of, and that's collaborations, public-private partnerships. And we formed this Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone group, which consists of all 6 of the mayors of our Atlantic coastal towns. That's the mayor of Longport, the mayor of Margate, the mayor of Ventnor, the mayor of Pleasantville, the mayor of Atlantic City, and the mayor of Brigantine. And with this magnificent coalition of municipal leadership, we want to focus on the Atlantic Tourism District Opportunity Zone. So first I'm going to share some information with you from the breakfast. Then we're going to take a little break. And then I'm going to come back and share some information with you about what an opportunity zone is and how can we use an opportunity zone to help with some of the economic development efforts of Atlantic City, particularly inside the opportunity zone. So let me share this with you first. Our press release from that day, December 19th, this went out. Resorts Casino Hotel. The Atlantic City nonprofit U.S. Humanitarian Aid Response Team CARES, U.S. HARD CARES, that's our nonprofit, hosted an unprecedented collaboration breakfast, which brought together Atlantic City, Brigantine, Longport, Margate, Pleasantville, and Ventnor, and created a public-private partnership which will leverage the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone, acronym is ACTDOZ, ACTDOZ, to create mutually beneficial RX5 data, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence workforce training and economic development, which Longport Mayor Patrick Armstrong remarked, "This is an exciting project, and I'm looking forward to organizing a meeting in Longport to further develop this unique Atlantic Coastal Public-Private Partnership." Grace Community Development Corporation founder Bishop Robert Hargrove, who came to give the opening prayer of our breakfast, stated, quote, "Opportunity zones are a wonderful economic development tool in the United States that provides tax incentives for investors to reinvest their capital gains into designated low-income urban and rural communities. It's an honor for GCDC, that's Grace Community Development Corporation, who we partner with, to collaborate with U.S. HARD CARES, focusing on leading this extraordinary Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone initiative, which will help spur innovative digital assets and technology for advancement, data, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence job creation, and economic growth in distressed areas, as well as for Atlantic City's sister coastal cities," unquote. Under the distinguished inaugural leadership of Margate's Honorable Mayor Michael Collins, the ACTDOZ collaboration will use the December 15th, 2025 breakfast to further their 2026 plans, with the support of local businessmen Dr. Joseph Baritone, Dr. Arthur Nahas, Michael Cohan, and Jimmy Whitehead. Dr. Baritone is a dentist in Margate. Dr. Art Nahas is a medical doctor who has a long history in Atlantic City as a champion surfer, and he's a host on WOND, I think every Tuesday. So, I don't want to lose my place. Okay. The local NAACP president, Kaleem Shabazz, stated, who he also joined us, this unique collaboration goal of creating an opportunity for all 6 municipalities to work together and mutually benefit from the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone, located between Atlantic Avenue and the Boardwalk, and from New Hampshire Avenue to South Albany Avenue, is admirable and much needed. That was NAACP President Kaleem Shabazz, who's also the Vice President of Atlantic City Council. Mayor Michael Collins stated, the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone provides a great platform for our innovative strategic collaboration to expand new Atlantic Coastal RX-5 cyber security workforce training, economic development, as well as financially rewarding new jobs. Commissioner Michael Ruffuge, commemorating this important initiative with a resolution, stated, this collaboration will provide a pathway toward developing new non-casino business growth with the ACTDOZ. The ACTDOZ will seek strategic partnerships with key stakeholders, including the White House, federal government, United States Congress, the New Jersey Coastal Management Program, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, the Atlantic City Casino Association, the William J. Hughes Technical Center for Advanced Aerospace, New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, the New Jersey Economic Development Agency, Stockton University, Atlantic Cape Community College, and the Jewish Family Services Organization. U.S. HUD President Horace Jones stated, what started as a cybersecurity workforce training program sponsored by HUD Secretary Dr. Ben Carson and the Honorable Congressman Jeff Van Drew is at a point where we can expand our program to local coastal cities as well. See attached Atlantic County Board of Commissioners Legislative Branch, ACTDOZ proclamation, and Atlantic City Council resolution. So I wanted to share that. We're going to take a pause for the cause, and then when we come back, we're going to dive a little deeper into all of this. Okay, y'all? Stay tuned. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Jimmy Whitehead, Atlantic City, Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, where the power of the people is our motivation. And the hour is 5 o'clock, between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. We started off in the beginning of this podcast by sending our blessings and our support to the Honorable Mayor Marty Small Sr. and his family. A big day for that family yesterday when the mayor was acquitted of all 4 charges of nonsense regarding abuse in his family, and it was in God's hands. The amazing thing, I think, the night before uh, the decision, the mayor was at church at a candlelight event. He's been very prayerful, and a prayerful man is a good man. A prayerful man is a family man, and any family man that loves his family can definitely appreciate the blessings we all received yesterday when the mayor was acquitted. So I was just talking about our extraordinary December 18th Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone Initiative, where we're bringing together all 6 of the mayors to work together on an unprecedented effort. This has never happened before. And the reason we want to do it this way is because when you look at Margate and Ventnor and Longport and Brigantine, they don't have the same problems that we see in Atlantic City and Pleasantville. And I wouldn't call them problems. I would call them needed adjustments in our economy. We have some challenges. We have to address the situation with the homelessness, the drug addicts in the streets. Just the other day, I think it was like 4 or 5 people laid out on Atlantic Avenue, seemed like they had an overdose or something. And this is not the type of picture that we can put out there when we're trying to attract more tourism, more family-friendly tourism. We have to really turn this issue around. So that's part of the focus of our ACTDOZ group, is that what lessons can we learn in Atlantic City from Margate, Ventnor, um, um, Longport, and Brigantine? How can we have our streets looking that clean all the time? How can we have no homeless and drug addicts laid out on the street? And we're working on some solutions right now. U.S. Hard, which I'll discuss later, because I don't want to prematurely put something out there, but we have a solution that we're working on and we'll share it soon. But again, what we were focused on today was this. I don't know if it'll come out straight or backwards, but this was let me see. Okay. This was our event, December 15th, and we have the U.S. Hard logo surrounded by all the logos of the cities of Atlantic Coastal. And it was a fabulous program. Um, Started at 8:30 in the morning, delicious breakfast. Started out with a quote in the program that God is not creating any more oceanfront opportunity zones. And I'm going to get into that, okay? But he's not. This is an opportunity zone, which I'm going to share some information with you, what an opportunity zone is, how attractive opportunity zones are to investors. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Honorable Secretary Scott Turner was touring an opportunity zone development project in Michigan, and it was a $1.4 billion development project in a Michigan opportunity zone. Now, just imagine what an infusion of $1 billion into our tourism district opportunity zone would mean in terms of new job opportunities, in terms of new entrepreneurial opportunities, in terms of new non-casino growth that will also have a positive impact on our casinos. Because if we create jobs in the opportunity zone, let's just say, for example, over the next 5 years, we create 500 to 1,000 new jobs, or 250 jobs to 500. Well, some of those folks are going to go enjoy some of the casinos, okay? Some of those new businesses are going to use the casinos for some of their conferences, some of their meetings, like we do all the time. So any economic growth in Atlantic coastal communities is good growth for all of the Atlantic coastal cities. We had, again, the program was Robert Hargrove, Grace Community Development Corporation. I did the invocation to open up because everything I do in life has always got to start out with a prayer. I don't care what it is. If you're eating dinner, if you're eating breakfast, if you go someplace, prayer is always on my books. We had our wonderful president of resorts, Mark Giantonio, do the welcome. And the thing about President Mark Giantonio, he has been supporting U.S. Hard for several years now. Our very first cybersecurity conference, it was a summit that we brought some experts together to discuss our program. That was about 3 years ago. And then the last couple of years, we've had a combination of U.S. Hard Cares and Atlantic City Business Roundtable collaborating to do some of the breakfasts. And they always were about networking and educating our local population about economic opportunities, because we want to reach out to the small businessman and small businesswoman in Atlantic City and the other cities who are interested in starting a small business. And what better place to start a small business is inside of an opportunity zone where the orange loop is, because as I get into it shortly, if you make an investment in the opportunity zone, you don't have to pay taxes on that investment for 10 years. Okay? It's fabulous. I'm going to get into it. The Honorable Michael Collins, he wasn't able to join us because, it was a flu going around the country, and unfortunately he receded, and he and both Mayor Judy Ward from Pleasantville, both of them were a little under the weather, and they both called me and said, Jimmy, I can't make it, but I'm all in. Barbara DeMarco, chairwoman of the Greater Atlantic City Chamber of Commerce, she participated in the program about how to use AI technology as a tool in helping individuals facing homelessness. Our special guest speaker from HUD, he wasn't able to join us, but he'll probably be joining us at our January 24th graduation at Hard Rock of our second cohort of pure cybersecurity guardians. The Honorable Michael Ruffew, Atlantic County Commissioner, made a U.S. Hard Cares Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone resolution presentation, which I'm going to share with you. And Horace Jones, president of U.S. Hard Cares, talked about transformative RX5 Cyber Guardian and cybersecurity AI workforce training. And then we open it up for some questions to the audience. Now, what I want to share is this magnificently written proclamation. So this proclamation says Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners, Legislative Branch, proclamation supporting U.S. Hard Cares and the creation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone. Whereas the unprecedented effort of the nonprofit U.S. Humanitarian Aid Response Team, CARES, in quotes, U.S. Hard Cares, have led to the formation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone Public-Private Partnership, P3. And whereas this unique strategic partnership would create a jointly managed initiative dedicated to promoting advanced data, RX5 cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence education and workforce training, along with expanding economic opportunities that will strengthen the goodwill and prosperity of ACTDOZ in the communities of Atlantic City, Brigantine, Longport, Margate, Pleasantville, and Ventnor. And whereas this collaboration will provide a pathway toward developing new non-casino business growth within the ACTDOZ region. And whereas the nonprofit initiative led by U.S. HARD will focus on cooperative efforts and shared benefits that support the 6 coastal cities' urgent RX5 cybersecurity workforce training needs, while leveraging incentives available through the Qualified Opportunity Zone. And whereas ACTDOZ will seek strategic partnerships with key strategic stakeholders including the White House, federal government, United States Congress, the New Jersey Coastal Management Program, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, the Atlantic City Casino Association, the William J. Hughes Technical Center for Advanced Aerospace, the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, the New Jersey Economic Development Agencies, Stockton University, Atlantic Cape Community College, and the Jewish Family Services Organization. And whereas the initiative is designed to promote ACTDOZ entrepreneurial growth, expand RX5 Cyber Guardian cybersecurity workforce training, supported by federal and private partners, and ensure an equitable distribution of resources that ultimately benefits local taxpayers without costing them a single penny. Now, thereto be it proclaimed on the 15th day of December by the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners that this board does hereby express its support for the U.S. Humanitarian Aid Response Team CARES, U.S. Hard CARES, and the creation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone, ACTDOZ, recognizing its potential to bring innovative economic development, workforce training opportunities, and collaborative regional advancement to all 6 Atlantic coastal cities. And that's pretty extraordinary that the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners has signed off on a proclamation with the seal. And this proclamation is to fully support this wonderful program that God helped us create with 6 incredible local leaders who are mayors, so that together we can move the Atlantic coastal cities forward with some prosperity. That's what this is about, creating some new local prosperity for our Atlantic coastal communities. Let's say, for example, in the Opportunity Zone, that our efforts create a new business. Let's say that new business creates 6 new jobs. Well, each one of our cities participating in this initiative would get a job out of there. And let's be a little optimistic. Let's say that we create 60 new jobs over the next several years. Well, each one of those cities will be allocated 10 jobs for their residents. Let's say that we get a grant from the federal government or the state government, or some philanthropic individual steps up and donates $600,000. Well, each one of those municipalities will receive $100,000 worth of RX5 cybersecurity workforce training. So the key here to this public-private partnership is that everybody benefits equally. Everybody receives something for their leadership, for their commitment to help us move this along. And as it moves along, we're going to be lifting Atlantic City and Pleasantville up to a new height, and everybody benefits. It's a win-win for everyone. I'm going to share with you a resolution of the great city of Atlantic City from the council. All council present the following resolution. Resolution congratulating the RX5 Cyber Guardian graduates. This is our previous graduates, and the RX5 Cyber Guardian team for their outstanding contribution to education, workforce development, and public safety. Whereas the city of Atlantic City recognizes the importance of education, workforce readiness, and community safety through innovative and future-forward training programs. And whereas on Friday, May 2nd, 2025, 27 students successfully completed the RX5 Cyber Guardian training program under the exemplary leadership and instruction of the RX5 Cyber Guardian team, a team wholly dedicated to the academic and career success of every trainee. And whereas the graduates also participated in the Cyber Guardian Cybercrime Reduction Program, CCRP, which included involvement in the nation's first humanitarian aid response team electric workforce training program. And whereas the CCPRP is designed to support the Atlantic City Police Department by helping install artificial intelligence enabled wireless surveillance cameras throughout the city, thereby enhancing public safety, enabling real-time detection of crime activities, and serving as a powerful deterrent on wrongdoing. And whereas the city of Atlantic City commends the dedication, innovation, and community impact of the RX5 Cyber Guardian team, the program partners, and the hardworking graduates who now stand prepared to contribute meaningfully to the workforce and the public good. Now, we still have some work to do on that first class of electrical workforce trainers because we have to help them prepare for interviews, resumes. We have to get them to the next level of taking a test. I think it's some type of union test that they take to become an apprenticeship program. We also are waiting for some activities from the police department because I was told they still haven't purchased all the cameras they need. So once some more cameras are purchased, and once our first class of Cyber Guardians electrical workforce training complete the other steps, we'll be able to do something with them. This class we just finished with, but let me finish this paragraph, I'm sorry. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and the council of the city of Atlantic City, county of Atlantic, state of New Jersey, that we do hereby congratulate the RX5 Cyber Guardian graduates and commend the RX5 Cyber Guardian team for their vision, mentorship, and commitment to empowering future leaders in cybersecurity and public safety. There it is. We have been blessed, that's why I say prayer is important, with a resolution from the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners. We received a resolution from the city of Atlantic City, so it's on the record now. Not only is our program real, and we're doing big things with great people, but the legislative branches of the county and the city have come on board and documented their support. That's huge. Again, all of this started in 2020 when Mayor Small came and met with Dr. Ben Carson and supported the Envision Center initiative that hadn't even got off the ground yet. It took a couple of years after that to get the grant that Congressman Jeff Andrew sponsored. It took us a little bit of time to develop the actual program, recruit some local residents to participate. The process of being patient and being tenacious at the same time and persevering, it has been extraordinary. There's been some challenges along the way. We're still trying to figure out how to perfect our program, but we're getting better at it. We've found some loose pieces that need to be tightened up. We need to have an actual interview process that develops in conjunction with our training, which we want to work closer with a young man named Kamal Johnson, who's quite extraordinary in local workforce training programs and coordinating the programs for all the pieces fit. So it's been a team effort. It's been an extraordinary team effort from the top level of City Hall to the top level of the commissioners to congressional support. It's a number of pieces here that are still moving, but they're working. And this is the first time I've ever done develop a workforce training program. So I'm very much learning how to make this thing work, fine tune it. And I put a lot of hours in 7 days a week because while this is going on downstairs with Horace Jones and some of our trainees, I have to still be on the phone and send emails and try to get additional grants and additional program support additional participation from the private sector. You know, we want to get some of the casinos involved in terms of mentoring our students. We get ready to start a new program in the spring that's going to even dive deeper into how to do what our students were doing last night. Last night, our students had a challenge because it was their last class after all the teaching that they went through over the last 10 weeks. 10 weeks of pure cybersecurity workforce training. And their assignment last night was they had to find a cyber virus that had been sent on a mission to destroy systems. Once they found that worm, that cyber intrusion, they had to kill it. They had to find it, catch it, and eliminate it. They had to abolish it. And they did it. What we did to make it a little more challenging, because we had 4 teams in there. Each team has 4 cyber guardians working on the team. All of them are on the computer looking at all these little numbers and algorithms and codes. And through all of that, they had to find the enemy. So we put a little wager up. We put a few dollars up on the table and said, whoever's the first one to get it wins the money. And our team that was led by Marine Stefan Jackson and a young man named Lynn, and we had a couple other folks, they won it. And I'm going to tell you something. I have no idea of how they were looking at all those little numbers and all those little algorithms and figuring out which one was the enemy, how to catch it, and how to kill it. And it was lovely. I was so proud of them. I'm so happy of our team that has developed this extraordinary program. And I'm looking forward to this incredible January 24th graduation of our second cohort of Cyber Guardians at Hard Rock Casino. And it's going to be magnificent. We're going to have some incredible people speaking there on the behalf. The commissioner is going to present each one of the students with something very special. They get a certificate. And then out of all of the students, we have a committee that's going to select some of the students that received the highest grades on their tests and responded best to the cyber solutions solving. And then we're going to sponsor them to get their cybersecurity actual certification. So stand by for that, because that's going to be exciting. You know, I'm hoping that we get at least half of them as in a certification program, but we'll talk about that more in the future. But all of this, the proclamation, the resolution from the city council, the classes, our future planning, all of this comes back to the opportunity zone, the tourism district opportunity zone. I just read all that stuff for you to give you some background about what kind of platforms we're focused on working with, what type of leadership is supporting us going forward. And it's all focused on the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone. Again, the Opportunity Zone is that area in between Atlantic, the Boardwalk, Albany, and New Hampshire Avenue. All of that space in between there, where the Orange Loop is at right now, and where you see a lot of other vacant lots where the Sands Casino used to be, some other vacant lots, and some of those horrible, dilapidated homes in that Pacific Avenue area, where unfortunately you see some folks who are strung out on drugs, who need help, who need prayer. All of that's the Opportunity Zone. And just think, in that whole corridor there, just think, that whole area, just think about God blesses us over the next 5 years, that we raise a significant amount of investment. We have this extraordinary visionary leadership of Mayor Marty Small Sr. We now have these other extraordinary mayors, Mayor Vince Sierra from Brigantine, from Longport, Mayor Patrick Armstrong from Margate, Mayor Michael Collins from Pleasantville, Mayor Judy Ward from Ventnor, Mayor Tim Crabell. Just think about all 6 of these extraordinary Atlantic coastal leaders working together in our Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone to create new innovative non-casino opportunities for investors to invest in, for EDA to get behind, for CRETA to support, for the White House, for the federal government, for HUD, for Veterans Affairs, for the Department of Labor, for us all to come together and make this perfect storm and show the rest of America how we are working together to fortify our Atlantic coastal city critical infrastructure, whether it is the drinking water or the sewage system or the electricity, the electric grids, or it is the financial institutions, the casinos, the hotels, and particularly the healthcare industry. Because God forbid that a cyber attack happens on our Atlantic coastal cities' healthcare industry. Just think if Atlantic Care and Summers, what is it called? Down at Summers Point, it'll come to me. The hospital down there, it's on the tip of my tongue. But just think about if all of the drugstores were hacked and senior citizens couldn't get their prescriptions. I think Shore Memorial Hospital. Think about if the financial institutions, PNC Bank and Bank of America and Wells Fargo, think about they coming in and lock up their money because of a cyber ransom, and you can't get to your paycheck, or worse yet, that they wipe out your money. Well, that's why we're focused on training our local residents for well-paying jobs, rewarding jobs, but more importantly, they'll protect us from the bad guys. Just think about it. When it comes out that in South Jersey, these 6 extraordinarily beautiful beachfront Atlantic coastal cities have partnered strategically to do something that nobody has done yet in America. And that's for our cities to work together to protect our assets, to protect our healthcare, to protect our financial institutions, to protect the tourism business, which is the anchor of Atlantic County, which is the anchor and the goose that lays the golden egg for the state of New Jersey. So we're making this kind of progress. I am so proud of everybody I'm working with. I'm so honored to be working with these extraordinary mayors of the Atlantic coastal cities. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in 2026, because we are on a roll. And I said, we are not whistling Dixie. Okay, now, let me give you a little definition of what an opportunity zone is, how it works, how it benefits us, and it benefits America. Okay. What are opportunity zones and how do they work? How does the opportunity zone work? The 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act created the Opportunity Zone program, meant to spur investment in undercapitalized communities. The program provides 3 tax benefits for investing unrealized capital gains in opportunity zones: temporary deferral of taxes on previously earned capital gains. Investors can place existing assets with accumulated capital gains into opportunity funds. Those existing capital gains are not taxed until the end of 2026 or when the asset is disposed of. And that's my understanding. They're expanding the opportunity zones tax incentives past 2026. I think they're going to put another 10 years on it. Basis step up of previously earned capital gains invested. For capital gains placed in opportunity funds for at least 5 years, investors' basis on the original investment increases by 10%. If invested for less than 7 years, investors' basis on the original investment increases by 15%. Permanent exclusion of taxable income new gains. For investment held for at least 10 years, investors pay no taxes on capital gains produced through their investment in opportunity funds. the investment vehicle that invests in the opportunity zone. So you have opportunity zones, and then you have opportunity zone funds. So the investors invest in the funds invest in the opportunity zone, and the investors get the tax break. What type of projects are being financed? Opportunity zones tax incentives can be used for commercial and industrial real estate, housing, which everybody right now is focused on affordable housing, particularly Mayor Marty Small. He has a couple of affordable housing projects that have already been built, and he has some more he's building. Infrastructure and existing startup business investment. For real estate projects to qualify for the tax incentives, the investment must result in properties being substantially improved. Opportunity zones eligibility requirements are minimal compared with other community development tools. For example, there are no requirements, as with the low-income housing tax credits, that the new apartments be rented to low-income residents. No requirements, as the Small Business Administration 7A and 504 loan guarantee program, that federal-backed investment occur only when full private market financing is available. And no requirements, as with the new markets tax credits, that investors establish an oversight board of community development experts and representatives to review projects. Some SIN businesses are, however, excluded outright. Our qualitative analysis of early year opportunity zone investments found that the vast majority of capital flowed into real estate rather than operating businesses. Both the Joint Committee on Taxation and Office on Tax Analysis show that roughly 2/3 of investees' businesses were in the real estate, construction, or lodging industry. But this finding likely underreports real estate investment, as occupants of investment properties could span a number of industries, according to an opportunity zone accounting firm. Less than 3% of the equity raised went into operating businesses. In general, opportunity zones projects provide market rate rental housing as well as commercial and industrial real estate. One analysis of investment into Colorado found that roughly 3/4 of the projects were multifamily housing. Who are investors in the program? Any corporation or individual with capital gains can qualify to make opportunity zone investments. Eligible capital must be provided as an equity investment, not debt, though debt could be a part of a larger finance package. An investment must result from a taxpayer's recently realized capital gains. And who are investors in the program? Insights are limited, but we do know that investors for opportunity zone projects are typically exceptionally high income, with the average annual income of $4.9 million, which is the 99th percentile. Per capita, the highest share of investors came from wealthy or growing states, including California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. Where have opportunity zone investments gone? Roughly 12% of the U.S. Census Tract, 8,764 census tracts across all 50 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. territories are opportunity zones. Governors nominated zones from among eligible tracts in 2018, with the U.S. Treasury responsible for reviewing and making final approval. Being designated in a zone does not guarantee investment. We have some preliminary insights into investment patterns. Nearly half of designated zones, 48%, received some investment between 2018 and 2020. A paper emerging from the Joint Committee on Taxation identifies this investment has been geographically widespread. Just 1% of zones received 42% of investment, and fully 78% of investment went to just 5% of zones. And as a statute allows, $1 to $10 of investment actually happens outside of zones, including higher income communities. Generally, opportunity zones benefit narrow subset of tracts in which economic conditions are already improving prior to implementation of the tax subsidy, as per the Joint Committee on Taxation report. When weighting tracts by the size of opportunity zone investment, the Office of Tax Analysis found that zones with investment had more residents than a bachelor's degree, 29% versus 15%, higher medium home values, 242,000 versus 136,000, higher medium incomes, 43,000 versus 36,000, lower unemployment, 9% versus 12%, and lower poverty rates. Looking at race and ethnicity, zones receiving investment had a lower share of Black residents, a higher share of Latino residents, and a nearly identical share of white residents than those that did not receive investment. Additionally, opportunity zones have a considerable urban basis. As of 2020, 95% of the investments were made in urban zones, more than 86% of the zones in urban areas. The states with the highest share of zones received investment, including DC, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona, while Kansas, New Mexico, Alabama, Iowa, Illinois had the fewest shares of zones receiving investments. These findings add to another debate that's been taking place since the program was first launched, whether zones are showing signs of gentrification before the program started. Our research found that a small share of zones, roughly 4%, experienced sizable degree of socioeconomic change between 2000 and 2016. Given the concentration of opportunity zones investing, it's possible that relatively few zones are gentrifying, and also that much or most of the investment is going to these communities. So that gives you an earful about the definition of opportunity zones, the kind of areas they're targeting, which are primarily economically distressed areas. It lets you know that there's some commercial, industrial, and some housing built, affordable housing we're going to focus on in Atlantic City. And the way we're going to do this with our other 5 sister cities is collaborate with them, so they may have some investors in those communities that might be interested in investing in our opportunity zone in the tourism district. Again, another benefit for our strategic partners. So I just wanted to cover some of that with you today. I want to end today by reminding everybody, after you heard about the opportunity zones, you can understand why I say God is not creating any more oceanfront opportunity zones. Now just think about this. In our Atlantic Coastal Initiative, our geographical Atlantic coastal cities, we are sitting on an ocean with a beautiful beach. It's a gem. It's a rough diamond. Or a diamond in the rough. Because we have got to lift up that tourism district area. And they say a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, guess what? When we start to invest in our opportunity zone in the tourism district through this fabulous strategic sister partnership, that means there's going to be new construction there. And when there's new construction, there's going to be new jobs, from putting a shovel in the dirt to putting the bricks and mortar in place to drywall, painting, all the things it takes to get it moving. And we at U.S. Hard Cares are going to make sure that there's equitable opportunity for small businesses from all 6 of our coastal sister city partners. We're not just going to let the big business come in and take all the business. No, we're going to make sure that we have a community benefits agreement in place that says there's got to be local small business participation in this growth. There's got to be local veteran-owned small businesses participating in this group. There's got to be local women-owned participation in the growth of this opportunity zone. We have to make this a beautiful red, white, and blue compassionate capitalism effort. And in the process, we have to create some new local wealth. We have to create some new local millionaires. We have to create some new legacy opportunities to grow compassionate capitalism in our Atlantic City municipality, in the Longport, Margate, Pleasantville, Ventnor, and Brigantine cities. Equally, everybody benefits mutually. Everybody will feel good about what we're going to do because we're doing it together. We're doing it for the Atlantic coastal cities. We are doing this for America, because when the rest of America sees how we have partnered to fortify our Atlantic coastal cities from future cyber attacks, future malware, future destruction of our lifestyle, the rest of America is going to look around and see us and say, you know what? Something special is going on in the Atlantic coastal communities. They have learned how to work together for the good of all families. And that's what each one of these mayors want. All of these mayors, Mayor Marty Small Sr., Mayor Vince Cira, Mayor Patrick Armstrong, Mayor Michael Collins, Mayor Judy Ward, and Mayor Tim Crabell, they all want the same thing. They want to see our Atlantic coastal cities thrive. They want to see all the cities clean. They want to see homelessness and drug abuse eradicated off the street. They want to see a beautiful, consistent group of cities working together and increase our tourism, increase our growth, increase our economics, increase our future together. So thank you for joining me this evening, Friday the 19th. We just have 12 more days, or how many more days to Christmas? So it's just 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6 more days to Christmas and 12 more days to the new year. So with God's blessings, we had our mayor got acquitted. His family is happy. The community is happy. We were able to have this magnificent breakfast the day after the blizzard. We received proclamations and resolutions supporting our efforts, so it's documented. And we're going to keep moving forward with patience, tenacity, and perseverance. This is Jimmy Whitehead from the Atlantic City Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, and I want to wish everybody a blessed weekend, and thank you, God, for blessing us with a small family victory yesterday. Thank you very much. I'll see y'all next Friday. God bless.